Hey everybody, today we're going to take a look at Jamaica. Jamaica is a boat racing, pirate loot grabbing, fighting ships, card playing, dice rolling, mess with people around you game for 2 to 6 players. It is designed by Malcolm Brough, Bruno Cathala, Sebastian Falcon, and it's published by GameWorks. At least my version is. There's a newer version out. But anyway, let's take a look at Jamaica is a pirate racing game where you're going to race around the board like this. You're going to decide who the start player is after everybody has been given 3 gold and 3 food tokens. The other token commodity in this game is also cannons. So the start player is going to roll these 2 dice, which are going to correspond to 2 different spaces on the board, this space and this space. This space represents the daytime action. This space represents the nighttime action. Everybody's going to have a deck of cards in their color. Mine happens to be John Rankum. And everybody's cards are going to have the same little symbols on them on each card. Although you put all these together, it makes a pretty cool little panorama. Beginning game, you're going to shuffle and draw 3 cards. And then before, since I'm the start player and I roll the dice, I'm going to look at these and decide which one I'm going to play. And all the cards have icons at the top. The icon at the top on the left is going to represent the daytime action. The icon on the top right is going to represent the nighttime action. Sorry about the adjustments in the camera. And I'm going to look at these and I'm going to decide what I want to play. Ooh, I really want to get 4 cannons and 2 gold this turn. So I would put the 4 in the daytime action, and then I would put the 2 in the nighttime action, and then I would pick my card and I would turn it face down. And then everybody around the table will pick their card, and then one at a time, starting with the start player, will reveal. And so I revealed this, so I will get 4 cannons and 2 gold. Now, how you put these in your hold. This is your hold where you keep all your supplies. You can't keep any outside of that. I cannot put anything in a hold that's already has stuff in it. I can't add to the same thing. So I could not put more gold on this hold. I can only add into a new hold. And it's got to be all of the same good. I can't combine these. So I could put these 2 gold here and these 4 cannons here. Okay. Played a different card instead. The different cards they have is you've got cannons, of course. You've got movement, which is moving around the table like this. You've got backwards movement, which means you move backwards. And then you've got food and gold and all of those sorts of things. So let's talk about the board for a minute. Let's say I played to move forward 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. That lands me on one of the few spaces on the board where you get something from the space that you land on. Otherwise, you're going to have to give something. So in this space, this is actually a treasure chest. So I landed there. I would take the treasure chest token, take it off the board, and then I would draw a treasure chest card from the top. So I would draw this. Ooh, this one's great. It gives me a 6th hold. Let's say I drew this one. That's a negative point. In that case, that would go face down in front of me and count against me at the end of the game. Otherwise, I would just keep drawing. And some of the cards in here, there's negatives, there's positives, a +3, a +5. There's something that helps you in battle. All kinds of stuff. There's one that lets you, instead of drawing 3 at the beginning of your turn, you're going to draw 4 cards to choose from. But unless it's something that you use during the game, you're going to put it face down. So the next thing you can land on, let's say I move to here. If you notice, there's these little squares. There's 3 here. That means I have to pay food. I have to pay that amount of food, and that would be 3 right here. So I pay that to the bank. And then let's say my next move was to move 2, and I move 2, I'd have to pay 3 food again. The other thing you could land on is a space that requires gold. And I would have to pay that much gold. Now, if for some reason I landed on the gold and I didn't have any gold, or I say I only had 2 gold, I would have to pay the gold that I had. And since I can't afford the 3, I would move backwards until I land on a space that I can afford. I move back, oh, I can't afford 3. I have to keep moving back till I land on a space that I can afford. Sometimes that's good because I can move backwards this way, knowing I can't afford any of those spaces and land on a treasure space. So there is a lot of strategy in how you play this game. The third thing we need to talk about is, let's say the black ship was here. And let's say on my movement, I moved 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. I moved into the space of another ship. Not moving into a space backwards because I couldn't afford the space, but because of the die rolls and the card I played, I moved into the space. We're going to do battle. Battle is very simple. I moved into the space, therefore I'm the attacker. I roll this battle die, I'm going to decide how many cannons I'm going to play. Yes, these are the cannons, and each cannon I decide to discard gives me +1 in my roll. So let's say I'm going to discard 4. So I'm going to get a +4 on my roll. Now this die has the numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. It's also got an explosion. If you roll the explosion, you win immediately, and the other player doesn't get to go. Or if the defender rolls it, they win no matter what it is. But I had a +4 in cannon, so I'm going to roll the die. and I rolled a 2, which is going to give me 6. Now the black player doesn't have any cannons, so they're just going to roll straight up, and they have to beat a 6. They tied a 6, so in that case the defender wins the ties. But whoever wins the battle is going to do to the other player this right here. They're going to take something from the other player. So let's just say I had some gold in my hold. They can take all of the items in one hold, so they could take all these gold right here, or they could take one of the treasure cards. They could take this 6th hold that I have acquired, or they could gamble and take one of these face down cards, and that's what they're going to do. Oh no, they picked the -4, so they've just taken -4 points and took it out of red player's tableau. You're going to play until everybody races around the board, but until one person crosses Port Royal. When one person hits or crosses Port Royal, the game ends immediately and you're going to score points. You're going to get points for the number of gold in your hold. You're going to get points for the number of point cards you have, minus or positive. Calculate those in. And then you're going to get points based on the space you're on. Starting here, the spaces go up in number all the way to Port Royal. So I would get 15 for being in Port Royal. This black ship would get 5 for being here because it says 5. But let's say the green player didn't quite make it. They're behind this red line, so they're going to get -5 points. Now, you don't necessarily have to be the first one to Port Royal to win the game. You could have more points and not get there. But most of the time, the person that gets there, generally, those 15 points are just a huge advantage. Welcome back, everybody. Jamaica is a great game. I really like it. My family really enjoys it. It's just a lot of fun. It's really easy. My 9-year-old can play it. Even younger than that can play it. Great components. The boats are pretty cool. The little tokens. One of the things I would do is, and I'm trying to find these right now, is I'm going to find some gold tokens, trying to find some little tiny cannons if I can, some little things that look like food, just little figurines to make more, but that may be hard when you're filling a bunch of them in your holds. So not a lot of bad to say about this game. Even the rule book is easy to understand and read. The only problem is it's not a rule book, it's a rule map. And you open it up like this and you go read here to there, blah, blah, blah. And it's creative. And I mean, it looks nice. It's okay. It's not the best artwork, but it's got pictures of what happens when it happens. That's all great. Just really would have liked to have it in a bound little rule book. But that aside, it is a great game. You can get some pirate music going on. I recommend YouTubing Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack, listening to that as you play. Great game. Can't say a lot of bad about it. I recommend this highly that you go out and get it. There's a newer version out. At least it's been redone. I think it's a lot easier to get for sure. When I got it, it was really hard to find, but now it's a lot easier to get. So Jamaica. Recommend it to you. Go out and get it and play it. Thank you for joining us here at Board to Table. And remember, get games played.